Why is it necessary to test potential medicines on animals?
We do medical research to save human lives and to prevent people suffering. A small but vital part of that involves the use of animals.
We can't say whether something new is safe or whether it works unless it's gone through a proper set of tests. These tests actually have to begin at the level of animals, so it's very important to do that.
But aren't animals different to people?
There are of course differences between humans and animals, but there are also remarkable similarities. We share over 90% of our genes just with a mouse, and many of the major biological systems in an animal.
Many people who don't understand animal research will say, well, why don't you use computer models? Why don't you use cells growing in a dish? The problem with computer models is they have to model something. You have to understand the process before you can actually use a computer to further understand it.
Can demonstrate that the human nervous system works like the animals. It helps us to define treatments. And there's lots of things that we can study in animals that we can't in humans that give us the information that we need. What we can learn from the rodent models, we could never learn in the human being.
If animal testing was banned, surely the medical community could cope.
Any ban on the use of animals would be disastrous for biomedical research. It would grind gradually to a halt.
We've made a great deal of progress in developing animal models for Alzheimer's disease, such that we can now take a human gene from families who have what's called familial Alzheimer's disease, where this amyloid protein is deposited in the brain. We can take the gene out of people, put it into a mouse, and those mice will develop that same protein in the brain as if the mice were developing Alzheimer's disease. We can develop various therapeutics, drugs, to try to remove that protein from the brain, or perhaps we can block it being deposited in the brain. All kinds of combination therapies can be tested in animals relatively quickly, and then we translate that into humans.
What medical improvements have we actually gained?
There's been a
from
vast
medical
array
experimentation?
of new medicines and treatments that have depended on animal research, and over 70% of Nobel Prizes in medicine or physiology have depended on the use of animals. This includes antibiotics, anesthetics, treatments for genetic diseases, a vast range.
Why is there so much secrecy about animal experimentation? What's the research community got to hide?
Researchers have been reluctant to talk about their animal work, and this is largely because of fear of animal rights extremists. But I think now is the time to open out more, and having school children and other visitors in to see for themselves around the animal lab.